This is How Do I Do This? The show for anyone asking, is it just me or is this a lot? They told us that when a marriage ends, you pick yourself back up, you have a glow up, you head to a Christmas tree farm, and then you meet someone new by the time the end credits roll. But we know that grief doesn't necessarily work like that. So today we're talking about divorce and what happens in the healing and the growing and how to set healthy boundaries. We're going to bust the myth about the Hollywood meet cute. Today, you're going to learn what healthy healing looks like. You're going to learn the difference between men and women and how they move on. And you're also going to learn how to set healthy boundaries for yourself, your new love interest, and for your families. And today, I'm joined by two phenomenal women. I'm joined by Vicki Favors, who is a licensed clinical social worker who has over 50 years, wow, that's amazing, of clinical experience working with individuals and families and couples to help walk them through some of these questions. And also Jessica Fagan with the Fagan Law Group. She helps families who are in transitions, whether that be divorce, prenuptial agreements. She also focuses on clients who have high assets and has a high degree of collaboration with all of her clients. I'm so glad you both are here.
We are happy to be here.
Happy to be with you.
Well, so tell me, what kind of tea did you pick out? Because my grandmother believed you could not have a good soul conversation around this table unless there was hot tea.
You want me to go first? So I picked the echinacea
Nice.
because I felt that my immune system, having a 5 and 8-year-old, needs a boost today.
Yeah.
And it smells amazing.
Good.
So I am very happy with the message on my teacup. Your strength is shared when you are present for others. And I'm very happy with the botanicals of my tea.
I'm so glad you're here and you're present with us. What did you choose, Vicki?
I chose a basic black tea.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of flavor.
Okay.
I like black, and I like what it says, simply drink life.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here about, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's start with you. What does healthy moving on look like from your perspective and your experience?
It varies person to person.
Okay.
So I try not to generalize and take people individually. I think people have spent time grieving. They're more grounded in themselves, and their sense of purpose has shifted to some degree. I think that a person is able to wake up and not dread stepping out of bed. And there's a sense, kind of a renewal of a sense of adventure and invitation.
Mm-hmm.
However, with that being said, I think those feelings can come up even when people are feeling like they're past that initial darkness of grief. So sometimes people are surprised, but grief can reemerge when people think, "Now I'm past this, I'm doing better," and you are. But what happened? You're just grieving.
Yeah.
And we can take a look at what triggered that, or it's just a natural human emotion when there's been a loss, and it can linger over time.
Yeah. I know when I was dating 20 years ago, it was during the time when that book came out, He's Just Not That Into You. And I think women sometimes hear what they want to hear versus looking at the facts of what they are. And so as people are getting back out there, do you see a difference in how men and women get back out there after divorce and moving on?
Well, again, there's a lot of statistics about that.
Okay.
But I'm as a therapist, cautious about that.
What do the statistics say? I'm just
Well,
curious.
a lot of what you read, or a lot I've had over time, it's been a minute, but that men move on quicker.
Mm.
And they might, some men might, but I've seen women move on quicker. And there are reasons for that. They'll say,
And you've been doing this for 50
long
years
time.
and teaching people. And
Well, I have, and I mean, there can be trends and all, but again, I'm a therapist who's cautious. I don't like stereotyping people. Many men depend on their wives as their confidant, and so they're lonely. And some men have, I know a man I worked with, he had majority of his guy friends, he was in his 50s, were his high school friends, and he was very connected, and would talk things over with these guys. But that's not always the case. And I've seen women very isolated too. So I get a history to understand dynamics and not make assumptions because it's a male or it's a female.
So Which brings me to just, you talk about, trends and everything. I started law school when there was not an iPhone. There was not, I think social media had just come out, but I very much resisted it at the time. Do you see generational differences now with how people move on, or, differences in dating style versus, I think about baby boomers versus Generation X versus, like, how does that all play out?
Well, I think to speak to social media and to all the dating apps, I mean, some senior, or they call it, I think, gray coupling, they will go on the dating sites. I mean, there's a lot
really?
of that. Oh, sure.
Okay.
I've talked to some people that, what would you say about that?
Oh yeah, the gray divorce is on the rise.
Yeah.
The gray divorce, people separating older in lives, and older divorcees with widows or widowers. They are trying to meet each other because they both have had something very real and very meaningful for a period of time.
Yes.
But they still want to get on that cruise ship with someone.
That's right.
And have a great time.
That's
and
right.
so there are gray divorces are on the rise, and gray dating apps are on the rise.
Oh,
That's right. That's
maybe
right.
we should invest in one of those. Well, let's transition to Jessica, because we're talking about different age groups, and as you're helping families walk through this, I know, of course, without, dissolving attorney-client privilege, but you're not only dealing with a marriage, you're sometimes often are thinking, and I know as a mom that you go there, you're thinking about the children, whether it's adult children or younger children or everywhere in between. So what kind of trends do you notice, and how do you kind of navigate all these generational differences?
So I think something that's interesting is, always remember, you're not inside someone else's home. You don't know what's going behind doors. So we may learn that a couple filed for divorce, but you don't know how long they've been sleeping in separate beds. You don't know how long they've been fighting, how long they've not been fighting because they're both, conflict avoidance, so they just kind of move into separate spheres. You don't know how, it's really hard to call a divorce attorney, because once you call the divorce attorney, even if you're calling for knowledge is power, you're putting that ball in motion. And so once you don't know if they've called me a year ago, if they've called me 6 months ago, if they've called me today and we filed 2 days later, and so I have a lot of clients that are exploring divorce for a long period of time because they are worried about the impact on their children. A lot of the research says the younger the children are, the least impacted they are. But then, some other people say, no, like my older child was fine. But other people say my younger child asks every day, where's daddy, where's mommy? And so, Vicki, to go to your point, it's so individualized. So trends I see, and probably the best advice I can give to your listeners is, if you have that relationship with somebody, you may want to ask how long they've also been considering divorce. Because
that's a good question.
Because you might be, oh my goodness, you just brought this up, you might file 2 months ago and you've already hired an attorney and you filed. And if you have that kind of relationship with them, something to really go deeper on your relationship is, well, how long has this been? And what you might find shockingly is that a lot of my clients tell me that they had second guessing walking down the aisle.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Totally.
I'll say, and now, is it revisionist history? Maybe a teeny bit, but by and large, I would say the majority of my clients knew that they were, flipping a coin, or, hoping for the best, or they were scared the music was going to stop and they didn't have a seat and everybody else was getting married and they'd been with this person forever.
So
and grandma was telling them time to get married. When are the grandkids coming? And so, but they knew, I really like this person, but I don't know that I have it with this person. And it may be shocking for some people to realize that they've actually been grieving the loss of this relationship for a lot longer than we may even see. I mean, look at Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban. They filed their divorce like smart celebrities or high profile people on a Friday afternoon, but they filed it as a complete packet. They had settled everything the day that they filed it. They had agreements.
And that didn't just happen overnight.
And that didn't happen
Right.
overnight. That didn't happen in a week.
Right.
You know, and most of my clients actually have what I like to call negotiated uncontested cases, where we're going to negotiate, work out your agreements, work out the parenting plan that's best for the children, work with therapists, work with the school on what time may be best to do this, and start getting into new family routines. Because to outsiders, things can seem to move really quickly, but there might actually be a lot of prep work on the back end. And as an attorney who does work collaboratively and really encourage people to think outside the box, and I have ADHD, so I'm neurospicy as it is, so I'm always thinking outside the box. You know, I want to think, okay, you have a child that's going away to sleepaway camp for the first time. You're thinking as a parent, okay, well then the dad will move out of the house while the kid's at camp. And I say, just imagine if you came home
And everything
and
was
life had
different in the
changed.
house.
Why would you ever go to camp again? But
Never.
you might want to work with the child and get them in and tell them this is, you know, if you've laid the groundwork and you've worked with a therapist, with the child having a therapist or play therapist or, you know, a pastor at church, maybe then that is the right time to move out, but the child knows it's happening.
It's not a surprise.
It's not a surprise.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not like, I mean, and that happens in regular lives. When I went away to college, I come home and my parents had converted my bedroom to something else.
Oh my gosh, the exact same thing happened to me. And I lost, like,
I
it was a
know.
completely different color scheme and everything. And I was like, wait, what?
What have we done? Do I not matter? And
No,
it's a
yeah.
very, and you, so as a
That's
collaborative.
so weird we share that experience.
I know. I came home so mad at Patty. And
Same.
obviously here I am years later, still like sharing this with a group of people.
Yeah, same. I mean, we're fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Just a little
You're
resentment.
doing great, sweetie. You're doing great. So, you know, and so, yes, you have to think about the impact on the children. And I think it's the same thing when there's a death, because when you suffer a loss of the marriage, it's still, you had all these plans. When someone has a miscarriage, the minute a couple knows they're having a baby, they start thinking, well, where's this kid going to go to school? Are they going to play sports? Is it a boy? Is it a girl?
Oh, I had
then-
our son graduating high school when we
Right.
went to eat Mexican to celebrate and was
Right.
crying at the table the
Right.
same night.
And it's so that loss, you
Yeah.
don't know how long somebody might have to grieve that loss. I had a horrible miscarriage and loss, and I still remember that baby's birthday. And I've got 2 healthy rainbow babies now, you know. And when someone has a death, you know, this sounds so, I don't mean to sound morbid, but the type of death also matters.
Yeah.
My Aunt Donna, who's a wonderful human being, my Uncle Nick suffered of cancer for a very long time. And I think some people were kind of surprised how quickly she moved on. But Uncle Nick had been really sick for a very long time, and she'd been a caregiver. And the 2 of them had really special moments together as, you know, his life was winding down. But, you know, she grieved in a different way. And so for her, the move on is different. But for other people, it might take years. And I think to Vicki's point, as a collaborative divorce attorney, I have to tell people, because I have one client who came in and she had tattooed yes on her hand or her wrist, and she was like, I am having a yes year. I am not saying no to anything.
Okay.
I have felt trapped in this marriage, so I'm going to live my best life. But then I have other people that are like, this was everything I wanted in my life, and it has ended, and I need to just kind of retreat.
Yeah.
And it's so personal.
So
Yes,
what does healthy rebuilding look like from your perspective? And do you ever have any repeat people who have
Frequent flyers, I like to call it.
frequent flyers
Frequent flyers.
that who you're like, you see them out and about and they're healthy rebuilding, and then, you know, fast forward a few years and they're back
Right.
saying,
Well, if
"Just,
they were
we have-"
smart, we talked about a prenup before they got married the second
Right,
time, or
right,
third time, or fourth
right.
time.
Right.
But, you know, yes. And so some people were pack animals. I always tell people this. And so we want people around us. And I think, you know, I was asked recently, is it
Do you think all people are pack animals, or just I'm
most
just
people,
curious.
I
Okay.
think, like someone around them.
Yeah. Okay.
Not everybody, true introverts, maybe not, but most people like to interact with humans on some
Sure.
level. You know, they don't want to self-check out
Yeah,
at
I
the
agree
grocery
with that.
store.
Yeah.
Definitely.
They want to at least say hi to that person,
Yeah.
you know, and walk out. So patterns, I mean, what's interesting is I always tell some of my girlfriends will say, well, he's going through a divorce, so I can't date him. And I said, just so you know, when his light is on to get in a new relationship, that light is on. And you don't know how long he's been considering this divorce or how he is. So not that I'm ever encouraging people to date while they're in a divorce. Adultery is still illegal. You know, it's still, conduct's still relevant to your divorce. But if you're in a healthy place and you've been separated and you're going through the process in a vengeful, scorned way, you might be ready to start laying some of those bricks to start moving on more quickly than maybe what other people think is appropriate. But
I think it would be important that they communicate with their attorney, because there's strategy behind all of that too.
Right,
To be in communication with your attorney, even though it's something personal, because I mean, I took my one divorce class and I was like, okay, this is not the lane for Ryan. But I think it matters, because it could affect how
strategy.
Strategy and how you would approach things, or
So
some of the bigger
conduct
goals.
is relevant in a divorce.
Yeah.
And it's relevant in equitable division, because if somebody's going out spending a lot of money on their new relationships or getting a tummy tuck and whatnot, you know, that might affect how the finances are equitably and fairly divided. If you've gone and spent all this money traveling the world and, you know, somebody else raises a red flag, or you spend all the money going to happy spas, that might raise a red flag. It's not a new relationship, but it's certainly a new hobby.
Right.
But also with the children, you know, if you introduce, I almost always, when I draft a parenting plan, I'm a little bit of a mama bear. So I put a lot of things in that a lot of my clients actually say, Jessica, we don't need that. We'll strike it. But for example, I'll put in a morality clause that says no one is going to introduce the children to a new significant romantic interest until you and that person have been dating for 6 months continuously and exclusively, and not 6 months before the divorce is final. Because I think it is healthy for a child to know kind of, because they're half one parent, half the other parent, and they have a break. Their parents are divorced, they're living separate, and then somebody new comes along. When people sometimes introduce that new person a little too quick, they say, but my divorce is taking forever, Jessica. It's been 2 years. I said, okay, but please talk with me before you introduce this person to the child, because potentially, if I'm on the other side, I'm going to say you are selfish and you put your own self-interests above your best interest of your child. And I may leverage that if the other side has introduced the new girlfriend, let's call her Trixie, and we've introduced Trixie to the children. And now Trixie's taking the children to get their nails done, and and the girls love Trixie because Trixie's young and she's fun. And, you know, she watches K-pop Demon Hunters. But, you know, as the attorney for the mom, I'm like, here we go. Evil divorce attorney turns on.
Right.
And that's where the timing can be interesting.
Yeah. Have you ever seen any, and this is for both of y'all, a scenario where somebody is so interested in proving they're okay that they just move on so quickly that they're trying to prove something to the rest of the world? And what does that look like?
Go ahead.
I mean, yes, right?
Yes.
People make
to
really
themselves.
wonderful decisions all the time.
To the rest of the world, but really to themselves.
Right.
It's more about proving something to themselves than the world.
I'm attractive. I'm fun. I'm pretty. This person has rejected me. But look, I mean, I think that's where social media can be a positive thing if you don't even go out with them. Because if people are, is it swiping right? If they're liking your pictures, you know, you're getting that boost, whether you're posting pictures on Instagram about being happy and everyone's like, girl, you look great.
Yeah.
Bro, that looks amazing. I think it's about
They're getting that little
yourself your love.
that dopamine hit of
Oh yeah.
yeah.
That's
And-
hard to turn off. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and to give up, right?
Yeah.
And that's why
and-
some people never
Until
get
it
married.
crashes.
Until it crashes and burns.
That's what they're calling you, right?
And then they're calling me and they're like, maybe I shouldn't have gotten married 6
so
months
quickly.
right after.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, yeah. But then I have other people that got married to the person they cheated with, and that, you know, 20 years later they're still together.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw
No.
a couple that got together quickly, like a rebound. We could say, oh, that was a rebound. And they're like, Vicki, it was a rebound for both of us. But they worked it out. They worked it through and ended up staying married long term.
So as you're working through with families and they're working through this, what are some good boundaries that y'all both have seen to put in place to help? Because it's not just a couple this is affecting. It's not just two people in the relationship. You know, they have maybe a close friend group or siblings or children or whatever. Like, what are some good boundaries do y'all think that people could put in place to, you know, so that they can run their race, but also respect those around them?
I always say less is more.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell everybody everything immediately.
Mm.
Yeah, people are so excited, but I think pacing, taking your time, and it's crucial.
Yeah.
You know, let's say that a gray divorce, right? And so your parents have been together 30, 35 years and suddenly they're divorcing. And you're like, what on earth? But you found out they actually, you know, haven't slept together in 10 years. And so, you know, then you think, oh, okay. Well, I didn't really need to know that about you, mom and dad, but okay, it makes a little more sense. But then that parent starting to date again will often feel very hurtful to the child, even more than the ex-spouse. Because the child's going to feel like, are you trying to replace my dad? Like, are you trying to replace my mom? And so I think parents, once they've divorced, especially if the children are old enough to understand, it's almost good to lay little nuggets. Like, your kids aren't your friend, but to tell them,
I think that's a good boundary to hear.
That's
like,
a good boundary.
Kids are not your friend.
Kids are not your friends.
No matter how old they are.
Right.
Right.
When number one red flag I see on social media is when people say that their child is their bestie. I'm like, okay, I know it's really wonderful to have a strong relationship and, you know, break the trauma wheel of generational trauma.
Sure.
But also, they're not. You don't need to tell the child everything that dad did wrong or everything mom did wrong. They just don't need to know. I don't care if they're 8 or they're 28 or 48.
Right.
They don't need to know everything. There is some privacy. But I think after a divorce, after a death, you know, lay a little nugget. Say, you know, I'm really lonely. I miss your dad a lot. You know, all my plans were we were going to do all these things together. We're going to get the lake house, and now that's ended, whether it's divorce or a death. So I think I want to get back out there, and you know, I just wanted to let you know, so it's not surprising if you run into me at, you know, a place.
Communication, that was key. You're right.
Yeah,
totally. Not to be shocked, but to have private time, I think is crucial when a
private time with the new person or with your family.
Well, certainly, if they're seeing that person, don't bring that person in immediately. But with family and with adult children, because there's a lot of feelings, such as you're saying, that's stirred up, and there are a lot of issues that are brought to the table. Speaking of prenups or finances, and there can be suspicion of a new person. What is their motive to get with my mother? Or so there's a lot of questions that kids have, and that's okay, as long as people are communicating respectfully. I mean, a parent has a right to connecting and finding joy again. And there also, I think there's a responsibility, accountability, because to talking to the kids.
Yeah.
No matter what age.
Yeah.
And being able to tolerate each other's feelings, that's hard.
Right.
But to do it respectfully. I know things can take off, but to come back and talk respectfully and openly and try to come to some understanding.
Yeah.
But still have boundaries. I mean, adult children don't want to hear certain things. As you say, it's inappropriate.
Earmuffs.
Yeah,
Right.
But also, it's okay to say, I can't take that in right now.
Right.
It's really okay to say that. And it's crucial to say that.
I love that bit of advice. Like, this doesn't work for me now. I can't hear this. I don't want to take this in. I don't want to see it. Don't want to hear about it. And
I love you.
yeah,
I love you.
both things can be true.
It's like
we
that,
say that a lot.
That's right.
Did y'all watch Ted Lasso?
I've
That
watched some.
moment where he confronts his mom. I love you and I appreciate it so much, but F you for this too. And it's such an honest moment of like a good, healthy relationship of like being able to vocalize, you know, I love you and I love this, but also like F you for not doing this because that's what I needed. And you were being kind of selfish not to realize your child needed it. And the mom's very honest in that. She's like, yeah, but you're an adult. And he said, I'm still your child.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so fascinating.
Yeah. Well, those are real talks, I call it. Real talks.
Yeah.
And they're important to get things ironed out, to get things where people are not getting disconnected. I'm talking about the family, not getting disconnected in a process that might be eliciting some change.
Yeah.
And it's harder sometimes with the gray divorces because the children are old enough to also know what some of these financial ramifications may be.
Sure.
Because, here are the kids and, they're planning on this inheritance.
That's
And
right.
suddenly the inheritance has been split from mom and dad. So what if mom marries somebody new and really likes their kids? And what if dad marries somebody new and really likes their kids? The kids, I sometimes have children of parents come to me and say, can I intervene in this divorce at all? Like, what can I do? Because I've kind of planned my entire life with when my parents die, the lake house comes to me. And now they're selling the lake house. They're putting the money in a brokerage account. And I don't know how it's going
There
to
are
be
these random
spent.
20 and 30-year-olds in the background that
Right.
I've never met before.
Correct. And they're like, wait, is dad now going to pay for those kids' college? I thought it was going to pay for my kids, the grandchildren's college. And there's a lot of emotion. And that's why I do a lot of collaboration with therapists and try to get everybody having open communication and boundaries because
Well,
it's not just two people getting divorced, especially when the kids are older. Because what if you've told this child you're going to pay for the child? I'll use my husband Duke example. You're going to Duke, and this child's been raised to go love basketball and go to Cameron and
wear royal blue all the time.
Wear royal blue all the time. Let everybody complain about Dukies, and they've taken in that. And they become a stronger person.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, the parents get divorced when they're 16. And mom and dad are like, sorry, we can't afford college anymore. You're going to have to get scholarships, and you're going to have to do that.
And that's grief for that child.
And that's
who thought
grief for that child.
It would
who's
look
like,
some way.
But I was going to paint my face. What do you mean I'm now going to tech? And, and the parents are like, tech's an amazing school. And the child's like, yeah, but for 16 years, you kind of bred me this way. What? And so it's really important that parents, you need to be a little selfish in your divorce because you need to fight for what you want.
Right.
But you also need to be aware and see it through the lens of, but how is this affecting everybody?
Right.
And
There's
I think
this Venn
sometimes
diagram that it touches.
Right. And there are things that courts can't order. But I have a lot of clients who are shockingly generous and will say, I know the court will not order me to pay for XYZ, but put it in the agreement that I'll do it. Or put it in the agreement that it is our intention to discuss in good faith that this child will get a car at 16.
So that's really good to know that even if a court won't uphold things, that the couple can come together and make agreements and put that in the agreement.
Correct. And a lot of time I tell people.
So contractually, they're then bound to that.
And I mean, let me be very clear. I've been on the other side saying, hell no, like the judge can't order that. We're not contractually ordering, obligating my client to that. But other times the client will come to me and say, I know I don't have to, but I don't ever want the wife or the husband to show this to the child, or kids are super savvy, have the kid look it up because it all goes in the public record and they see, wow, mom and dad literally didn't account for anything about me in here besides basic child support. And money, I mean, people always think, oh, good, we've settled child support, so I don't have to argue anymore. No, A, child support is modifiable. B, you have a human together. That doesn't end when child support ends 18 or graduation from high school. You think that kid's not going to call you for beer money when they're in college or when their car breaks down?
Or even the things that don't have anything to do with money, just
that's what I was
time. How do they want to spend Christmas?
Right.
How do they want to celebrate the holidays? Do you want to...
Do not divide Christmas Day on the day. So many people are like, but it's really important to see my kids on Christmas. I was like,
it's
your
a whole
kids
season.
do
It's a season.
not care. And you are hurting them. Ask any child of divorce that had to pack up all their toys at noon and go to the other parent's house. They're resentful. Yeah. Get over yourself and have 2 Christmas. That's better.
Yeah. Well, and the time aspect too. I think, you were talking about people in gray divorce and all of a sudden there's these other adult children that you never accounted for,
showing up to Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to spend your holidays like that? Because presumably if you're of a certain age, everybody has their own families and their own dynamics. And, it may be great that you're in a newly golden bachelor situation and then y'all in love and passing roses, but that may not work for everybody.
Right.
That's true. That's where the communication and boundaries comes in.
Yeah.
And it may not, and particularly if it's early, it can be a disaster.
Like sometimes bonus grandparents can be amazing for a family. And the new grandparent is a little bit younger, a little bit sprier, wants to help raise the grandkids. And you're like, oh, heck yeah, this will work great. Other times, you're going to suddenly have a lot of arguments over, well, what is this new person called by the grandchildren? And I think to have a healthy family, there has to be that communication, even if it's 20 years later.
Yeah.
It can be. And it just off what you're saying, Jessica, I've seen a step aunt step in and help the kid, the other family, be welcomed. The kid was having a hard time with a divorce and a later remarriage, but she really took that kid under her arm, wasn't related, and helped her feel more connected.
A child can never have enough people loving that person.
The tribe.
The
tribe
tribe.
mentality.
We all need a
true.
village. We've just
It's
gotten
true.
away from it, but we need the village.
We
true.
do need that. And I like what you said about people wanting to be with people. I think that's true. That we're all, as human beings, we want to be loved and connected.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that it's going to go smoothly or maybe happen at all in terms of, this is overstating a blend in a family, but I think it does take time. It takes years, actually, for some people. And in some cases, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But I think that's more rare.
Yeah.
From my experience, that over some years that people do reconfigure and come through the fireworks, the explosion, and come to some kind of meaningful
Détente.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what I'm hearing, just to sum everything up, is that connection and communication is key. And also just to give everything time and not have none of the parties have any real expectation that anybody is going to get on your timeline, whatever that is for you.
Absolutely.
And communicating your boundaries as far as this is my timeline, and if it doesn't match with yours, trying to find some peace in that and being confident in what your timeline is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I tell people, marry yourself. Marry yourself. Don't worry about all this.
I feel like I did that, and I joke around a lot because I was only 2 months away from turning 31 before I married Dan, and so I had a long time when I was single girl Ryan. I said, God forbid anything happens to Dan, I'm going to live my best golden girl life. I'm just going to be by myself. I know who that woman is. She was good. She was good on her own. Well, before we go, I ask everybody 5 questions. And so it's kind of a lightning round. So just answer whatever off the top of your head. So Vicki, I'm going to start with you. What's a life lesson that your mom or your grandma or someone who is of the female gender that was really wise that you think about a lot, they would tell you?
Stay true to myself.
I love that. What about you?
My mom, Patty, used to always tell me, when you get
Love
married,
Patty.
I know, bless her heart. She used to always tell me, marry somebody that travels like you do.
Oh, and that's true.
Because it
Except
really
when
does.
you and Will get in disagreements about going to Disney.
How
all
often
the
when
time.
you go to Disney
Yeah,
World?
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. But we've worked through it. His
Yeah.
parents have now retired to Orlando, so solved itself.
Yeah, it did. That was great.
But yeah, my mom always told me, marry somebody that travels like you do, because that, the way you like to decompress, the way you like to explore, where you spend your money and your free time.
I love
That's
your mom's name, by the way.
Yeah,
I
that's
got to
really
say my mother's name since we're bringing
do
her
it,
up.
yeah.
Jessie Joe.
I love
Jessie
it.
Joe. Oh, that's a great name.
Yeah, my mom's Patty Mac.
Patty Mac. That's awesome. So, in your dark moments, Jessica, when things have gotten really loud, besides texting our mom's group, caffeine, and screaming Taylor Swift lyrics in the car, or spontaneously booking a Disney trip, how do you find comfort in the everyday? What's something that's super comforting to you?
So, I'm a nerd. You know this. I'm a complete nerd. I'm a theater nerd. So when I am really upset, I like to turn on the song "Listen" from Dreamgirls, sang by Beyonce, and just belt it out. Because it's, to me, "Listen" is such a beautiful song about girl power, and it's like,
Okay, I may have to add that to my Broadway jam session.
It's
not
amazing.
Okay,
But that's what I
so-
do. And
I
I
love
love
that.
tea. I'm a big,
Yeah.
I joke all the time, I'm a little Anglophile that just was born on the wrong side of the ocean.
Yeah.
and I'll pour myself a hot tea, get my vocal cords ready, and I will sing with
Yes.
Queen Bee.
I love that.
I love it.
What
too.
about you, Vicki?
Oh, well, to play off Dreamgirls, I love it. I'm telling you, I'm not going.
Okay, again, Jennifer
Yes.
Lawrence. It's
Yes.
an amazing
I gotta
voice.
sing it.
So good.
Yeah, well, I sing. I mean, I play the guitar.
Jennifer Hudson.
Absolutely, truly, I like to sit under some massive banana plants that I've grown.
Oh, with the
And
huge leaves.
Massive. They
That's
would
so
hit
neat.
the top of almost the top of the ceiling. And I like to write. I like to talk to people on the phone under the banana trees, people that I love, and spend time in nature.
Yeah.
But I also like, I'm an extrovert. I like to be busy to some degree too. So I'll just see you on the street, start talking to you in the
Yeah.
store. How you doing today?
Yeah.
Checking out the grocery. And I find that mysterious and exciting.
That's cool. I like that. What is the most sacred or sentimental thing in your house? That if God forbid, besides maybe pets and your loved ones,
Like my children?
yeah, besides them, that you would grab on your way out.
I think actually my great grandmother's ring that I don't wear right now, but I have in a safe.
That's sweet.
And then a shawl that was made for me. I love the night, love the stars, the moon, and a delicious shawl a friend of mine made me. That is a shawl of the night, the moon and the stars.
I love that.
Yeah, it's been good.
Oh, I love that. I don't know that there's anything I grab besides Will and the girls. I'm not, despite all, observations to the contrary about how label driven and materialistic I am, I'm trying to think. Maybe, so when I was a little girl, my Mimi gave me a little bitty Bible,
Mm-hmm.
and it says, I hope you always remember your Mimi.
Oh.
And I might grab that
Yeah.
and take it. Also hoping that maybe Jesus gives me a little, if the house is on fire, he's like, oh, good, you picked the Bible.
Right. Right.
Get you
Check.
Check. You, that one.
a
Yeah.
high
Yeah.
five for the day.
High five for the day, right? But I think, I'm not, despite how materialistic I am, I'm not super materialistic.
Yeah.
Maybe the book I'm reading right then, because I'm probably going to sit outside for a long time with the girls and need to read something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's the symbol in the material.
Yeah.
It's really what does it represent to you?
Right.
Yeah.
I love the Bible.
Yeah.
It's actually just the New Testament. I'm big on Jesus. It's
Yeah.
it's a little white New Testament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
His words
So-
are in red,
If
Yeah.
you're
And it's
asking
white. I noticed that.
yeah, if you're asking God any question and you're getting an answer, what are you asking? And it can just even be like for today. It doesn't have to be some kind of big
My mind went immediately to the rapture.
Mhm.
Like, I'm a good Presbyterian.
Mhm.
Predestination. Can I just know, like, a month of the rapture, if it's really going to happen? If it's really a parable, just tell me.
Look,
yeah.
Because I make the joke all the time when I come somewhere and there aren't people around. I'm like, did I not get raptured?
Right. What is happening?
Like, there's my Baptist beginnings.
Or
right
we
there.
wake up and we know we're going to have a challenging day practicing law. You're like, well, guess I have to practice law
Yep.
today. I'm still here on earth.
I posted
I
that
was-
to
I was-
Instagram. I was like, no rapture, I'm working.
yeah.
I love that. Okay. Oh, so many things. But simply, how can I remember gratitude? Thank you for so much
Oh,
that
my
I have
God.
in my life. And, in a moment of intensity or pissed offness, how to stay in gratitude and something that is important to me. And it relates also to my field. How do I take care of me? But how do I also take care of you?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of lead me to being of service to others.
Are you an Enneagram too?
I think it's been a while. I think I might be a 5. I might be wrong, but I've had it. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
What made you think that?
You're just such a helpful servant soul. I wonder if
She
you're
is.
too.
Well, I try to work though on not being too helpful, because one of my most wonderful mentors say, "Don't be helpful to people, Vicki. Be with people,
Oh,
but don't try
That's
to."
super wise.
Don't-
And
solve 'em.
years ago, well, right, and when I'm supervising people, I'm like, stay out of the way.
mm-hmm.
Stay out of the way, because people are wise. They're not
I
to be
tell-
fixed. So
I have to
would
tell
like to know
mys-
about Jesus. Sorry.
Oh no! I
Oh,
tell
if we're
my,
asking God.
I remind myself all the time, Ryan, this is not in your basket. You don't have to solve this today
that's right.
because
That's
I am
smart.
such a fixer and a tweaker, and I can write a perfect contract. And oh, if we just move this one word, and just all the things. And so I have to remind myself a lot, Ryan, this is actually not in your basket to handle at all, ever, really. And usually most of the time,
That's
not
wise.
today.
Drink your water, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, but you know what? I think, what if we asked God what his favorite place on earth was? What he thought was the most special, beautiful place on earth? Wouldn't that be fun to know? And then you go travel to it.
Yeah, that would be a cool.
What
that
do
would
you
be
think
real
one of
fun.
the answers would be?
Like a national park.
Mhm.
Like I think somewhere in nature where he's like, boom,
Mhm.
I'd made that.
I'm gonna go bigger. I think he's gonna say wherever you feel love with your family is where
Home.
is my favorite place.
That could be right.
Oh, well,
here.
that's really
That's it.
sweet. There's the brown nose answer. That's beautiful, Ryan.
I got my brownie
You should
points
have a
today.
podcast.
I should have a podcast. Okay, so last thing, ride or die, swear word or phrase you're saying when you have just had a day and you are done. It
I'm not
doesn't,
allowed to
doesn't
say
have,
it.
it doesn't have
I'm
to
not
be
allowed to say it.
you're not oh okay.
I'm an F-bomb girl.
Me
Yeah.
too.
I think it's the best word. I
It
really do.
It feels good.
It does.
It's
It's
got-
strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we
And-
can't say it on
It's got
air.
good energy.
Yeah.
We're good little girls. We
Yeah.
can't say
Yeah.
it. But
All
man, that is the word.
Yep.
Well, that was awesome.
I
So I appreciate y'all
Yeah.
both for being here and helping us see how we can appreciate our timing and others' timing and get comfortable in the in between, because it's that in between growth stuff that's the hard part.
It's messy and it's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Just what I was going to say.
All right. Well, thank you both.
Thank you.
All
It's
right.
been a pleasure. And thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for today. You can grieve for who you were before everything changed and still become someone new. Grief and growth sit at the table, often passing notes when we're not looking. This tea, this time, this place is part of your healing, and it's part of mine too. You're not broken, you're just brewing. And besties, we do not gatekeep around here. So if you heard something that touched your soul, or you have a friend who can benefit from this information, share, follow, and come back next week. Your seat at the table will be waiting.